This is Bugatti's new $5 million roadster, the Bugatti Mistral. The Mistral will feature Bugatti's last V16 engine ever. This is arguably one of the best properties we have ever seen in Los Angeles that will cost nearly $5 million. But wait. What's the purpose of telling you all this? You can't afford these luxuries, right? You're probably working a job right now, one that you got from the degree that you studied for in university, or you probably don't have much in savings. Your living expenses seem ridiculously high. You feel as though you're not paid enough, and everything I told you earlier all seems like a distant dream. And then you ask yourself, how did they do it? You ask yourself, seeing all those millionaires, billionaires. It baffles you. It makes you angry. They got lucky. They were born into wealth. They cheated their way to that money. And I'm just unlucky to those dreams you had of buying that mansion, your favorite sports car, paying off your mortgage, traveling around the world. They'll forever remain that way, just dreams. Nothing more, nothing less. You come to the harsh realization. It's a rigged game. It's been a rigged game from the start, and you're on the losing side. What do you really think about money? Is this something you work for? Is it earned or is it inherited? Is it the root cause of all evil? Are you desperate to have more of it? Have you been chasing it? The truth is, what you think about money is influenced by the environment where you live. Your mind has been primed by the idea that if you're born in the poor family, then it's more likely that you too will not grow up to have much money. Or perhaps you went on the complete opposite end and decided to make as much money as you can to escape this poverty. In that position again, the fact that your school didn't teach you much about this subject. The modern education system is a system that teaches only a limited and recommended sets of lessons by the teachers to the students. However, the school doesn't teach about money because they know that it's a powerful knowledge to build your own wealth and government. This doesn't help things, and most of you are going to have false beliefs about money that aren't going to help you on this journey. Now stick with me here, because we're going to have to change the way you've been seeing money your whole life. The mainstream media always shows us the negative side of being wealthy, had a habit of depicting the wealthy and rich as evil, backstabbing, entitled, or corrupt individuals. The question is, have you bought into that stereotype? A recent report released by WealthX showed that of the world's ultra-wealthy, those that had a net worth of 30 million or more, 68% of them were self-made, and it seems like every other study backs up this conclusion. Now you think about all those wealthy billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates, etc., and ask yourself, what is it that these people know that you don't? The truth is, your equation is all wrong. Here's the two-dimensional equation that you've been taught. Money equals salary earned from a job. Past a certain point, the prospect of getting a job becomes the sole purpose of your education. So what's wrong with that, you ask? Let me assume that you're watching this video because you want to make money, a lot of it, and in a shorter amount of time as possible if that is your goal. Then this equation for generating money will never get you there. We all have a precious resource, and once it's gone, there's no way of getting it back. That resource is time. In a standard job, the amount of money you burn is dependent on the amount of time you put into that job if you earn. Suppose you earn an average $20 per hour and worked 40 hours a week. It would take you nearly 24 years to reach a total of $1 million, but that is without subtracting any taxes or any expenses that you will incur over 24 years. And let's not forget that inflation would make your $1 million less valuable. The reality is that on a salary of $20 an hour, you can only really be a millionaire at an old age by living frugally, and most of that precious resource, known as time, has slipped through your fingers. You traded all that time for money, and it wasn't even a substantial amount either. So again, you ask yourself, how is it then there are self-made millionaires and billionaires at such young ages? What makes them so different? And the truth is, they have a better equation than you. They have a way of understanding money that you haven't quite grasped yet. Now you have to pay close attention. The rules of the game are as follows. You are paid in proportion to the perceived value that you have and the people that perceive your value. They are the market, the consumers of the economy. The market is you, your friends, your family, your neighbors. People also complained why footballers got paid that much. There has to be a market for the football industry in the first place. People have to see the value in football in the first place for them to want to spend money on matches, in merchandise, And if the market is a high demand for football like the recent World Cup happened in Qatar, guess what happens to the players who are at the top of their game? They are paid generously for it. This is not about how hard you worked. Let me simplify this. For instance, on one hand, a cleaner is sweating and tiring himself out every day, are paid far less than the chartered accountant on the other hand, because an accountant has years of experience. They are highly paid in every sector. The high demand in the auditing and investment fields fetch them a high salary. Another factor is that a cleaner can be replaced easily, but it's hard to find a highly competent accountant that will save you thousands in taxes. But even so, we just discussed how getting a job is in the right equation to amassing a great amount of wealth in a shorter period of time. So then, how can we increase our perceived value? What is it about people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos that makes their perceived value so high? The first step to this equation of wealth is quite simple. If you want money solve problems, listen to the market around you. What are people saying they don't like? What are people saying they wish existed? What are people saying frustrates them? What do people think is incredibly inconvenient? Is that a problem that you can solve, and also is a problem that is worth solving? You realize that just about all money runs from this basic premise: if it solves a problem, money will be thrown at it. If it's $1 million problem, then the solution will make you millions. If it's $1 billion problem, then the solution generates billions. The final step of this equation to wealth is finding a scalable solution to the problem. Your solution needs to affect a magnitude of people. Starting a restaurant that's not scalable, you're constrained to the local area and the footfall of that area, but by considering a franchise now, that's more scalable. This will not only help you generate passive income from your brand's name, but also revolutionize your whole business model. Is your solution a piece of software? Then that means once that software has been built, you can scale it, and this can be all done visually or by the help of the internet. If you're a teacher that opened an academy and teach the students from your desired age group, then you are only limited to the time that you can easily manage and that specific area where people are comfortable to reaching out to your academy. And then you want expansion of this business model. You built up an interactive website and hired multiple qualified teachers for each subject that can teach virtual classes all over the internet and as per schedule classes all over the internet. This is the acquisition, the moment someone buys the solution that you spent years building a business around. This is Instagram being acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. This is PayPal being sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, of which $165 million went straight to Elon Musk's pocket, and the countless other liquidation events that happen across the world. This is where all the effort that you spend into building your company comes to fruition. We will never be able to reclaim time. Is giving up a large chunk of your time towards a job that you probably don't like worth it? Is your life settled on working, coming home, watching the television, sleeping, waking up the next day, and repeating the same cycle till you retire? How many more hours of your life do you let slip through because of this pattern? Or perhaps you're fine with that reality. Your destination wasn't anything monetary related. It was a feeling, a sensation. The ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, without ever having to cast the thought towards, can I afford this? Doesn't mean you'll be happy at the end of the road. Doesn't mean you'll feel fulfilled. Only you can answer that question. But if your struggle is meaningful, then perhaps it's worth pursuing, and there is your equation to wealth.